What's going on, guys? Ryan here from Face Off Sports Network, and I'm bringing you Panic Meter while as we go into Week 5. We've had 4 weeks of NFL football. We have a better understanding what's going on, and right now I'm going to give you 6 players that maybe we should panic on, or maybe we should be not panicking about. Let's get started. My first one, Garrett Wilson. Oh, many of us have been very high on him. We took him either late first, early second round thinking, Aaron Rodgers coming back. This is going to be the next greatest thing. He just hasn't panned out. Yeah, week 1, he had 11 targets, 6 receptions for 60 yards, good enough for 12 PPR points. But outside of that, he hasn't done much. And now he keeps going down in total yardage, from 57 to 33, back up to 41. But he's not producing that elite wide receiver 1 numbers anymore. He's more of a, can I say, low end wide receiver 2. The panic's getting real, and I am very high on it. I have him actually as a level 8, so I am super panicking on him just because he got shut down by Patrick Surtain here in week 4, being held down to 41 yards. But after this, he has Minnesota, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, New England, and Houston. Now, he might not think those are too hard, but with the way things are going with that team, I don't know if I could even trust Garrett Wilson. But at the same time, he's actually a perfect buy low candidate because from week 10 on, he gets Arizona, Indianapolis, a bye week, Seattle, Miami, Jacksonville, the Rams, and then Buffalo in week 17. So if you're able to buy low on him, this would be a good time. But if you can find someone who's panicking on him, like I'm panicking on him, but I'm not going to give him away for nothing. I'm going to tell you that much right now. I spent high draft capital on him. I don't want to be getting rid of him as soon as I can. He still sees at least 6 targets a game. He has anything less than 6 in it's week 2. Week 4 here against Denver, he had 8 targets. So he's definitely the target leader. This whole offense with Aaron Rodgers is kind of up in the air. We don't know how it's going to go. And then plus Aaron Rodgers having an injury, do we go to Tyrod Taylor? If we do go to Tyrod Taylor, what type of performance can we see from Garrett Wilson going forward? I'm really nervous of that one right there. So Garrett Wilson is a guy I'm easy to move on from. My next one, Kyle Pitts. Now, if you ever listen to me on Absolute Auction Podcast, I was all over Kyle Pitts, and I was all over this whole Atlanta Falcons offense, as probably pretty much mostly anyone was. Drake London jumping up in ADP, being a second round pick, Bijan Robinson going, in a top 5. This offense was looking to be stellar, and it has been absolutely nothing but that. And the worst thing is how Kyle Pitts started out. Yeah, week 1 it looked good. He had 3 receptions for 26 yards and a touchdown. And I think we were onto something here. But, once again, it was low yardage. They touchdown saved him for that week, getting him over 10 PPR points. But we're still seeing the same Kyle Pitts. He hasn't seen any more than 59 receiving yards. This is scary, people. I don't even know what to even do with him now. And now you look at him against New Orleans, 3 targets, no receptions, no points, no nothing. He had him like as of right now, he is owned in 94% of CBS Sports League. I can see the number actually dropping below 90% because people are just going to move on from the name and redraft. Dynasty, you're still going to hold on to it just because you have all the draft capital. He has athleticism. You can't afford to drop him right now. And especially if you're going to give him away, you're going to be giving him away for cheap in the Dynasty. It's definitely not worth it. But nothing's changing on it. I don't like it. I'm moving on from Kyle Pitts. I would personally, if I was in a 10 team or less, I'd be willing just to drop him and pick up anyone else that's out there because anyone else that's out there is getting about the same amount of points. These tight ends have not been what we were hoping for this season. And it's kind of making me super nervous because all the top Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid, they're not living to the expectations that we were hoping for when we drafted them. And we're looking at these back end tight ends, and basically the same as everyone else has been. like in general, I'm panicking all tight ends. Basically anyone that we spent a top 6, 7 round draft pick on, you should kind of be having on the radar. And that includes Travis Kelce. My next one going into this, Anthony Richardson. Now, I was super high on Anthony Richardson based on what he did last season. And mind you, it was only a few games, but the rushing upside was there. The capability of passing was there. And week 1 was what we were hoping to see. He was 9 for 19 for 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception, but also saved by 56 yards rushing and another touchdown. Good for over 25 fantasy points. But then after that, it's just been nothing but a complete downfall. Against Green Bay, 17-34 for 204 yards, a touchdown, 3 interceptions. Now, mind you, the interceptions are something that was going to be happening, and then we all should have kind of seen it coming. But, it's the rushing yards that we're hoping that would save us. But since week 1, he's been going down rushing yards with 37, 24, and 24. Mind you, this last week against Pittsburgh, he got injured. But even that being said, that pass defense was stellar, just like how Chicago's was. And Chicago shut him down. Pittsburgh shut him down. And now he's injured with is being viewed as day-to-day with abdomen strain. But we were drafting him with top 10 upside. And he's nothing better than a QB2 at best right now. He's basically like a super flex quarterback. I'm benching him for anyone. I'm benching him for everything. My level at him right now, to be honest with you, would probably be probably about 6, because it's like I'm not ready to drop him just because I know his capabilities. And if you feel like you drop him, that next week when he's coming out, that he could be bounce back and definitely have a nice bounce back game. And that's what could be beneficial, especially this next week. If he's able to come back, he has Jacksonville, but then follow that, you got Tennessee, Miami, Houston, Minnesota, Buffalo. So the next few games could be hit and miss. But if he's able to bounce back, this would be a great way to bounce back. Oh, how do we handle this guy? Brandon Aiyuk. Like, we look at him, okay, week 1 against the Jets, shut down basically. But was it really just, lack of training camp experience of what's going on? He got the contract. He held out for all his money. I feel like the holdout is kind of what hurt his fantasy value here. Yeah, George Hill gets injured, and you're thinking same with Deebo Samuel that, oh man, this is gonna be a Brandon Aiyuk game against the LA Rams. Mind you, yeah, he had 10 targets, but he only turned it into 5 receptions for 48 yards. He still has no touchdowns, and Juwan Jennings once again led the team in targets this last week. So I'm panicking on Brandon Aiyuk. At a modest level, 6 right now. I think he's going to eventually bounce back. I think he's going to get in his groove. It's going to come back into play. But for right now, he's no better than a wide receiver 3 at best. You can't even get double digits in PPR right now with him. So it's kind of hard to get him. But, he's got Arizona, Seattle, KC, Dallas before a bye. So if you're looking to buy him, you're going to wait for that. Well, right now would be a perfect time to buy him if you can, because basically a lot of people are getting rid of him. But if you're looking to sell, wait for that big game to come out, because you might think this big game happens, then that'd be the perfect time to sell. Oh man, what about this guy, Patrick Mahomes? What happened to Patrick Mahomes, guys? He has been absolutely nothing this season. Yeah, he's got 2 20-point games, but still, that's in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues. But still, he has not produced true QB1 numbers in almost a whole calendar year. This is unbelievable for a quarterback that, we're taking as the number 2 quarterback in drafts behind Josh Allen, yet he has not performed like Josh Allen. We were hoping against the Chargers it would have been something good, especially against Atlanta. We were thinking something good inside the dome. Even Cincinnati, these games, nothing good happened. Patrick Mahomes, I can see he's 100% rostered in all leagues. I can see most people either benching him. If someone drops him, I can guarantee someone's going to pick him up. It's not a given because it's Patrick Mahomes. Everyone's going to see the name. They're going to pick him up right away, thinking that name. But with what he's been doing and the loss now of Rashee Rice going forward, it's feared to be a torn ACL. The news came out. They're still looking into it, so they don't know exactly what it is. But we'll just assume it's a torn ACL. So now you're down Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice. This is going to be a nice boost for Travis Kelce, as it showed for him. But the rest of the offense is just struggling because who else are you going to throw it to outside of Xavier Worthy? It's a tough thing to look at. So my panic level at him is actually a 7. And it's pushing an 8. Like, I'm actually ready to move on. I would actually not be surprised if I had someone else on my team, on my roster, like let's say Caleb Williams right now. I might actually take the chance with Caleb Williams, knowing that I might have a chance to get a 3-touchdown game. If not, I might even take a little bit more risk here and go with a guy like Joe. And finally, one guy I'm actually not really too scared of, and I don't think you should be either because I saw this coming, and that's Josh Jacobs. Now, you could say, he had a good game week 1. Week 2, he definitely exploded with 32 touches or 32 attempts for 151 yards, no touchdown. But then after that, he's kind of just trickled down and started sharing the field more with I am having a brain fart here. Oh, man. Oh, Emmanuel Wilson. Excuse me, Emmanuel Wilson. But if you look at it in that perspective, Josh Jacobs, who should have never been really viewed as an RB1. And when he first signed free agency, I was kind of all over him, jumping on him as an RB1. But seeing that how Matt LaFleur kind of likes to split the backfield and not give one running back all the carries, I've been more focused on saying, he's a solid RB2 who's going to be sharing the workload with anyone. And Emmanuel Wilson is definitely a guy he shared the workload with this last week. But, he still had the important touches inside the red zone. So I'm not too worried. I actually have him as a 2, to be honest. I'm not worried about him at all. You're going to have these up and down games. But, 9 for 51, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 27 yards. That's still very good. So, there's no need to panic on it. Go along with it. Let's have fun with it. And, we got LA Rams coming up next week. Expect a nice bounce back game from Josh Jacobs. All right, guys. That's all for me today. Let's catch you guys next week.